If you're looking for full-on Easter decor, bunnies, pastels, all of that, Homesense has it by the bucket load. But if you think that's all they've got, think again. On this visit, I wasn't shopping for Easter at all. I was deliberately looking past the obvious displays to find more grown-up, timeless spring pieces, things that will work well beyond Easter. The question was, would I actually find them? Because I know the Homesense experience can put people off. It's busy, it's crammed, and yes, it can feel overwhelming. But don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for, where the good stuff tends to be hiding, and what's actually worth bringing home. And do keep watching right to the end because I'll show you how I've used the pieces I did bring home for a simple spring update in my own space. So yes, as soon as you walk through the doors of any Homesense at this time of year, the Easter decor and the obvious spring displays are usually front and centre. But the very first place I tend to head for is the cushions and throws section, because at this time of year I'm definitely craving a little refresh in that department. Now let's be honest, it can be pretty chilly outside still. I'm not ready to give up my warmer throws just yet, but what I am craving though are lighter, brighter spring hues. For me, pale green, even a soft pastel green, works beautifully with my very neutral core palette. But if that doesn't work for you, it's not about copying a colour, it's about finding a softer tone that does work in your space. The goal is simply to lighten and brighten a little while still keeping that cosy feeling going. Especially if, like me, you live in northern climes where we're very much still hanging on to the cosy vibes. Homesense is a great place to look for an accent cushion. You often find really good quality here at their famously discounted prices, and quite often the cushions have a more luxury feel with plump, high quality feather pads inside. This one actually didn't have a feather pad, but it really caught my eye. I kept coming back to it again and again. And it's worth remembering that you can always swap the pad out if you prefer that fuller, more luxurious feel. The cover is really what you're buying here, and that's the piece that's going to do all the visual work in your space. The next aisle I usually check out for some great spring finds is the faux stems and wreaths. Adding a little bit of greenery at this time of year instantly lifts a space. It mirrors what's starting to happen outside and it just makes everything feel fresher and lighter. I was really drawn to this wreath in particular. That pop of yellow instantly brought all those spring decor vibes without feeling overdone. The next section I usually make a beeline for is the ceramic planters section. These can be surprisingly expensive elsewhere, and I think Homesense generally has really good prices on them. You do need to be a little bit careful because it's unlikely that any of these are going to be suitable for outdoors, but I was looking to do a little spring refresh in my front porch and something like this would be ideal. I just loved the traditional shape, pattern and the gorgeous green of this crackle glaze planter, and I loved it even more when I spotted that there was a smaller size to match. It's always a good day when you find a matching pair of something in Homesense. These plant stands are another really versatile find. Homesense usually has loads of different versions, lots of patterns, different colours, different finishes, and I was really drawn to this one with the gold top. I knew that once I put a planter on it for spring, you wouldn't really see the top or the pattern anyway, and to be honest, none of the other patterns worked particularly well with my decor. But what I love about the gold though is that it could easily do double duty. Come Christmas, I can see this working really nicely as maybe a little small side table, and I do love a piece that earns its keep. Early spring is definitely the time to start browsing the outdoor living sections at Homesense. While I was there, I actually saw 3 different people buying these bistro tables, which really tells you everything. At this time of year, it's very much a case of if you snooze, you lose. I also spent a bit of time browsing the outdoor cushion options because this is another area where Homesense can be really tempting. I loved the mix of prints they had, some a little bolder, some much softer. It's just a really easy way to add a bit of pattern and colour without committing to anything permanent. And as well as that, I spotted these really cute little watering cans. They're probably more suited to indoor use, but they look great in a conservatory or a lovely posh potting shed. And last but not least, in the outdoor section, I spotted these lanterns. They've got a lovely, slightly Arabic shape and are perfect for popping a faux candle inside. They're ideal for dressing a patio for a special occasion, but they would work just as well indoors too. It's always worth checking out the main ornaments and home accessories section when you're shopping in Homesense for spring decor. At this time of year, the goal is really just to make everything feel a little bit lighter and brighter, and one easy way to do that is with lighter coloured decor pieces. This year, Homesense has a fabulous selection of white accessories, which work with just about any decor palette. I spotted this shallow bowl, which was very similar to the one I highlighted in my Dunelm video last week, but they had so many different options here in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and because they're so affordable, they're a really great way to do a simple spring refresh. What I also love is that pieces like this aren't just for spring. Styled differently, they'd look just as good with winter whites, think pine, foliage and cosy textures later on in the year. Before I left the store, I did take a little wander back through the Easter section because let's be honest, we all get a bit of FOMO now and again, and I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. I spotted these little pastel eggs, which would be perfect as a simple bowl filler, just a small, specific nod to Easter without going over the top. When I'm looking at the more Easter-specific pieces, I'm not big on decorating with lots of pastels. I'm usually just looking for one small accent that feels seasonal rather than themed. I'm always drawn to hares. They feel synonymous with spring itself, not just Easter, and I love the neutral, almost wood effect texture of this one. Pieces like this can easily stay out well beyond Easter. And of course, it's just personal preference. There's absolutely nothing wrong with colour, and if I were styling an Easter table, say, I might well lean right into the pastels. But for everyday decor on a shelf or a side table, I just tend to prefer something that's a bit more neutral. So what did I end up bringing home? Well, that little gold-topped plant stand for starters, and I just couldn't leave those crackle glazed planters behind. Isn't it funny when a shape or a colour just feels like the perfect fit? And the fact that I could bring home a ready-made pair made it even better. Top tip, an upside-down glass dessert pot works perfectly to boost a plant if you think it's going to sit too low. You'll notice that in this corner of my porch I've got plug sockets and it can start to look a little bit messy. So simply popping a couple of plants in front of it is such an easy way to disguise all that. I've also got one of those little scent diffusers in here. I love the ones from Bath & Body Works, but let's be honest, they're not the prettiest of things. So placing something like this plant stand in front with a planter on top is just a really simple way to keep all that stuff tucked out of sight. And yes, that gorgeous yellow wreath came home with me too. And I've got a little top tip for hanging wreaths on doors where you don't want to mark the front, especially internal doors like these. I stick a clear command style hook upside down on the back of the door. Then I loop a ribbon through the wreath and pop it over the top of the door and tie it onto the hook. My hook is permanently there. I don't always have a wreath hanging on it, but because the hook is clear, it's virtually invisible. On the other side, I've got a lantern with a faux candle inside. I just needed to clear out the winter pine cones and replace the batteries in the candle. You'll notice it's sitting up on a little stool, and I really think introducing different heights, even in a small space like this, makes such a difference to how everything feels. It's the same principle you'd use on a side table or a sideboard, where you might group 3 pieces of varying heights together. Those styling rules still apply whether you're decorating a surface or just simply placing things on the floor. Oh yes, that bunny or hare found a forever home too. I think the key with Homesense is not to try and take it all in. It can just feel overwhelming if you let it. But if you go in with a little bit of a plan, maybe just a few sections in mind that you know they tend to do really well, and stick to those, it becomes a much calmer experience. Over time, you start to learn what Homesense is particularly good at, and you can just head straight to those areas without getting distracted by everything else. That's when you're much more likely to find those timeless, more elevated pieces that really work in your home. And for me, that's what a seasonal refresh is all about. It's not about filling your space with themed decor, it's just about adding 1 or 2 thoughtful touches that just lift everything slightly. When you walk through your front door and feel that everything suddenly feels lighter, fresher, just more in tune with the season, it gives you that little mood boost, and at this time of year especially, I think we could all do with that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.